Okay, we are now going to discuss this paper. This is a very straightforward paper, all right? O-level standard, so-called. Now, the equation of a curve is given by this. Now, just one look at this particular expression. You should know that if you want to find dy dx, function divided by function, you should use quotient rule, all right? You are strongly recommended not to bring this up and then use product rule. Don't, okay? Just use quotient rule because quotient rule, the format is such that it more or less, right? Okay, quotient rule is just the minus something, then divided by the denominator square. More or less, the template has been fixed for you already, okay? So you put the denominator here, differentiate the numerator, you get this. Now, in the exam, it's strongly recommended that you do something like that because in the exam, when you panic, sometimes, especially this, right, the sign, you may make a mistake with the sign. So write this down somewhere. Okay, you write on the formula sheet or whatever, then you refer to it, all right, because the stakes are very high. Now, differentiate sign, you get cosine here. Then don't touch this, put here. Then minus, now this one don't touch, you already differentiate just now. Differentiate this. Now when you differentiate this, you got to be very careful because there's already a minus sign here. So you can see that I put a minus sign in blue, okay, meaning that it's just a doggy, just leave it there. I'm just going to focus on differentiating the cos. When I differentiate cos, I get minus signs. That's why I have minus sign in red here. And when I expand this and this, it's just minus and minus is plus. Plus times minus is minus. So overall, it will be a minus sign square. Okay? Now, you can see that unlike the previous paper where I one look and then I see whether there's any common factor, then if there is, I put a tick, and then I take it out, right? One look, I can see that because this is in cosine, this is in sine, there is no common factor, all right? So I simply expanded this part here to see whether I can simplify it further. So that is the strategy, okay? So sometimes you one look and then you see that there's 2 lah, you take out x lah, you take out, then you put a tick, and then those that you never tick, you throw it back into the brackets. But in this case, one look, you know that there's no common factor, okay? Then you just expand. Because sometimes when you expand, you can simplify things, all right? Now, a word of caution, do not expand the denominator. 没有建设性, okay? Not constructive at all. You expand the denominator, no use, okay? Because it's already in the simplest form, so just leave it, okay? Now, let us move on. Now, if you're familiar with the identities, right? These identities, which can be found in your formula sheet, then you will be able to recognize that there is this first identity hidden inside here, right? Sine square, cos square, you just need to take out the minus. So if I were to take out the minus, the common minus sign, I will end up with sine square x plus cos square x, which is 1. So this is the simplest form for dy dx. Okay, now what they want us to do next is to obtain the x coordinates. Now you must read very carefully, annotate your the question, whether it's coordinates or x coordinates. If it's x coordinates, then it's simpler, just find the x value, and the range is from 0 to 2 pi, and you are supposed to leave your answer in terms of pi. That means exact form. Okay, so special angles may be involved, I don't know. Now for stationary points, this is important to state because this will give you 1 mark. Okay, just by writing this, you will get a 1 mark. Now of course, the denominator, when you cross multiply, it will just disappear. That's why just now, if you have expanded the denominator, you're just wasting time. So only the numerator is of meaning or of value to you. Now I find the alpha. Okay, if you don't know this, special angle, okay, you can still, inverse cosine, then 0.5, right? You will get this, right? You remember the question once in terms of pi, okay, in terms of pi. So this answer cannot be in terms of decimals. You you find how many pi's there are inside. So you divide by shift pi, okay? And then you press equal. Oh, there is 1/3 of pi there in that 1 point something whatever. Okay, so it's 1/3 pi or pi over 3. All right, and because you want from 0 to 360 and you want cosine to be positive, cosine positive is here and here. Okay, so it's either pi over 3 or in this quadrant, which is 2 pi minus pi over 3. That will give me 5 pi over 3. Alright, so that's all for the first part. Now let's move on to the second part where they ask you to determine the nature of these stationary points. Now, I have to make a decision. You have to make a decision, okay? During the exam, whether to use the first derivative or the second derivative. I actually prefer the first derivative, as I always do first derivative, because even if there's a point of reflection, this will be able to determine point of reflection. If I use second derivative, firstly, I will have this problem of differentiating this again, okay, and become very complicated. I would rather work with this, okay. Now, please use this convention that I show you here. Do not use any other stuff like less than pi over 3 or greater than pi over 3, okay? Follow exactly what I've done here. And because they didn't ask me to find the coordinates, they only asked me to find the x coordinates in the previous part, so I can just leave it as x coordinates, okay? So that's all for this particular question. Now we move on to the second question, which is on remainder factor theorem, okay? You are supposed to find the remainder when this is divided by this. Now, in order to get the full credit, get the full marks, you need to first of all let fx be equals to this, okay? Why? Because only when you write this, then you can f whatever later. So you want to find the remainder, right? You're not, take note now, read the question carefully, okay? Some of you, I think you read this, right, you will immediately want to press the mode 3, 5, whatever, and then you press and then try to solve. No, they are just asking you to find the remainder. So how to find the remainder? You set this to equal 0, so x equals -1. You sub x equals -1 inside. Then state very clearly that the remainder is 1. That's all to this part of the question, okay? They're just testing you on the remainder theorem. Now factorize completely. This one is different. This one, then you can press your calculator and all that. But before you do anything, again, you have to call this polynomial by a name. Okay, so we call it gx. Alright, and then after that, you press your calculator already, you show off, and then say this one equals 0. Must state this is a factor, and after that, you do your compare of coefficient. Now, let me just go through again, compare coefficient. In my case, I compare coefficient of x, so I actually want this 5. I put 5 here on my left. How do I get x? This one cannot, this one cannot, this one, right? So one of the coefficient is 1, okay? The other coefficient is, how do I get x again? This one, okay? So it's p. So the answer is 4, which means that I can put it in, and this is what I get. Now, you can see that there's a repeated root here. Okay, so you just write it as a repeated root. Now the next part wants you to express this as a sum of 3 partial fractions. And please be very aware of what is going on. Many a times, right, part B linked to part C linked to part B, part D and all that. So you take a look at this. You have already so-called factorized this, correct? This is actually, this, you see, is exactly the same. Alright? And you have, and actually they are guiding you, they're guiding you. Okay, if they don't guide you, you yourself also have to know that you have to factorize this, and it's in this form. Now, take note, this is repeated root. Repeated root is not the same as irreducible quadratic factor, okay? Repeated root you have to break it up into power 1 and power 2. And then this one is 3x plus 1. And remember, before you even start this, right, you check whether it is a proper fraction. Okay, so it is proper, then you can straight away. Many of you in the prelim, you just straight pong. When it's actually improper, you have to do long division, okay? Next, remember, this is what you need to multiply both sides by, okay? So you multiply both sides by this thing and you end up with this. And this part here, you have to just use your power observation, okay? X minus 1, this will disappear, so you will get your B. When x is, you set it to 0, right, you get x equals minus 1/3. Be very careful here, it's not 1/3. Be very careful here. You sub in, press calculator correctly, you'll get this. Okay, lastly, choose any number you want. And with the help of your B and C, you can get the answer. Okay, it's good to box it up. It's good to box it up because you'll be able to see it very clearly, and must state this answer. Okay, otherwise you're not answering the question which asks you for the partial fraction. All right. Next. Okay, actually, in the paper itself, there wasn't a next lah, but I would want you to try this out. You can pause the video now and try this out, because in the O level, right, this is one type of question that they can give you. Okay. Okay, assuming that you have done the question already, now you have to be very observant and not simply assume that everything is the same. Okay. Now they say hence find this one. Firstly, when I express this in partial fractions, right, this is exactly equal to this, okay, from previous part. But what they want me to integrate is not the same. Oh, it's almost the same, but the sign is different, which means that you need to multiply by a minus to this whole thing. This all must have a minus multiplied to it. Minus 1. Okay. Then the denominator also is different. Okay. So you must observe. You cannot just assume, oh, they look the same, they must be the same. It's worthwhile spending that 5 seconds, even 8 seconds, just to see, double check. Okay. So after I found that they're actually not the same, I make them, not say make them the same lah, but I try to get back this original one, which I have already found the partial fractions from the earlier part. Okay, then after that, if you look at this part here, right, I will just sub in. Oh, by the way, do you know why it's minus half? Because there's a 2 at the bottom which I need to take out, right? Then over this one, the minus 1 is to multiply this to get back this. Okay, I hope you understand. Okay, then this minus half, you just leave it. This will now be replaced by whatever you have found here. Okay, now we are ready to integrate. Now, how do you integrate this? If you are not very strong, you may want to write by the side. Oh, sorry, x plus 1 minus 1, right? Then this one is 5 x plus 1 minus 2. Okay, so power plus 1 divided by new power cannot make it, right? Cannot make it. That's why it's a ln function. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't show you this because I haven't done the multiplication inside. I can either do first, then I multiply finally, or I can multiply first, then I do the integration. Okay, so my method is to multiply in first. Okay, so I follow whatever I did. This one is like that. This one times this one is minus 5 over 2. This one times this one is, oh, this one times this one is wrong. This one minus 2, right? Minus 2 over 2. So how did it become this? Yeah, strange. Did I make anything let me see. No, yeah, okay. So this should be one, just one because it's cancel, and then minus, right? Okay, so there's a mistake here. Sorry about that. After that, right, you're ready to integrate. Now, this is 3 over 2x plus 1 minus 1, right? This is whatever I written here. Okay. If you can see, if I add 1 to here, then divide by the new power, I'll get 0, right? So cannot. You must understand that this kind is a ln function. Okay? So, very simple. Listen carefully to what I'm saying. Because your prelim, many of you made that mistake. This doggy just stay outside. Don't go and expand. You like to expand. Don't show off, okay? Expansion is not everything. In fact, simplifying, factorizing, that's the more powerful thing to do. Okay, so this leave it outside because once you expand it, it's no longer the simplest form. I will explain when I go through the paper in the next few videos. Okay, then this is 1 over this, and then that's why it's ln x plus 1. Differentiate this is 1. Okay, minus 5 over 2, just minus 5 over 2. Again, you plus 1 to this, that's minus 1. Then divide by new power, differentiate this is 1. Okay, so this one is not ln. Must be very clear. This is not ln, this is ln. Okay, because you cannot divide by 0, so it's ln. Same here, cannot divide by 0, so it's ln. Differentiate the 3x plus 1, you get 3. Alright, this one is my mistake. Okay, then now you're ready to write the final answer. This you throw it below, and then minus times minus is plus, and this it should be this. Okay, I made a mistake just now. Okay, alright, so that's all for this particular question. Make sure you don't make any mistake if this comes out. Okay, these are very, very standard non-thinking questions. Now, logarithms are very straightforward. You firstly see whether can change the base or not, then whether got power law or not. So I changed this to base 3 because this is base 3. Okay, then power law is being applied here. This one I change it to half, then throw this down. Okay, then I flip. This is just 1. I flip, then this 2 goes up. So that's all I'm doing here. Alright, after that, because it's base 3 already, in order to combine these two using log A minus log B, right, I have to throw this power, throw these 2 up to the power here to become this. Then I can take log minus this is the inside. Okay, some of you are still writing this divided by this whole thing. That means you log here and then you log here. Wrong concept. Alright. After you're done this, use the bowling. 3 to the power 1 is this. Okay, then now cross multiply, ding ding dong dong, and then you will get this answer. Always check whether you must reject or not. Okay, many of you in the prelims didn't reject, you lose 1 mark. You throw the minus 1/3 here, cannot make it because log a negative value. Okay, now we go to the next question. Now, there wasn't any, what you call that, certs in your prelim, but that doesn't mean it won't come out in your O levels, okay? It just means that this Nanchao never set certs, okay? Also, Nanchao didn't set the difference of cubes and all that, alright? So, they focus on certain things, but don't worry, when we do revision, we'll focus on everything. Okay, this is, there are a few cases. In the case where the quadrilateral is a rectangle, so you draw a rectangle. It's good to have a picture to help you visualize. Then you label correctly. Okay, don't label wrongly. Label wrongly, your diagram wrong, everything all wrong already. Okay. Then area is this, right? Area is length times breadth. So you divide by this. Now, certs is a very easy topic, but because our algebra not very strong, you must be very careful. Like this, right? Okay, I ask you, should you so-called simplify this first, then do this, or should you do this then simplify? Actually, it's all up to you, But you see, I'm showing you if I don't simplify first, right, my numbers will get very big. Okay, but then again, if I simplify already, right, some of you will make mistake because sometimes there's a number here, then bracket here, then you forget the number. So you have to practice and then see which method suits you best, okay? And then remember, we are applying A plus B, A minus B. So you just need to look at one of them, right? And then you square this, 3, right? Then you square this. Then of course it's a minus. Okay? I would not recommend you do this, okay? But the top you have to do this, so-called the rainbow method, okay? Then you get this, and please remember to always simplest form in terms of the sets. Okay, so how do we so-called simplify this? You always use prime numbers. You divide this by 2. If you divide this by 2, you get 24, right? Cannot square at 24, so 2 is not the one. Then you take 3. Oh, can square root 16, then it's 3 times this. Okay? In any case, they are hinting to you already. So if they do hint to you, then immediately you know already it must be 3. Okay, then now, take note there's a minus here. You must be very careful. Later, you have to throw this minus up and then change all the signs at the numerator. Okay? These two can be combined together to get this, and then now I change the numerator, the sign, change the numerator, the sign. Okay? Yeah, so be very careful on this, and please write units, don't make them minus 1 mark from you. Okay, now the next question is in the case of trapezium. Alright? A trapezium has 2 parallel sides, and when you add up the 2 parallel, so I go and draw the trapezium on my own with the height here, the perpendicular height. Now the area of trapezium, if you don't know, is half. Okay, add up the 2 sides, the 2 parallel sides, times the distance between them, the perpendicular distance between them, and that will be equals to the area. Okay, now again, you see what I do, I simplify first. Don't leave it like that, then you go and later expand, then you're working with very long. Okay, so you simplify first, and then now you so-called cross multiply, you get this. Okay, check this working, whether correct or not. Okay, wrong, let me know. And then you rationalize it, and then you then you get this. Again, write the units, and you must write it in the same form as what they want. Okay, actually they should say A, where A, B, C are integers. Alright, this setter not say very good. Okay, never mind. Next one. Mr. Teo puts fence around so you put a fence, Mr. Teo, in the shape of a trapezium. Okay, A, B, C, D. So actually in the diagram it wasn't given to you, but I think from the given information you should be able to tell that A, B, C is theta, right? They label here theta, so this must be A, B, C. Then you take a look at the diagram. They tell you AB 10, BC 15, and then BA and CD are perpendicular to the line AD. Okay, express AD and AC in terms of theta. Now, whenever you have this kind of questions, where you have an angle here, and then you have given 1, given 2, or whatever, right? Then you ask to find AD. Where is AD? AD is here. Now, in the prelim, many of you you weren't strategic. You must be strategic. That means, I want to find this. This should be the same as this line that's parallel to me. Okay, having these 2 as the end points. Alright, so if I were to, that means this line parallel to this line. If I were to look at it like that, then I know already. You all learn in physics, right? This is opposite, this is hypotenuse, so this must be 15 sine theta. Okay, then I'm just talking about this length. This length, I'm the length that's adjacent to this angle, so it must be 15 cos theta. Okay, and this whole length is 10, right? This whole length is 10, so this must be 10 minus 15 cos theta. Yeah, so that's how I get this. Okay, and it turns out that this is our formula question. Express the perimeter of this in this form. Okay, perimeter. Perimeter is AD plus DC plus this, right? So it's 10 plus 15 plus this plus this. That's why they ask you to find this. You see, they're guiding you. Now, when you add up all this, you will find that, oh yeah, there's a 35 here. If there isn't a 35 there, meaning you must have made a mistake somewhere. Okay? Now, whenever it's our formula, you must be very careful. If they say sign, right, you must put the sign first. So you must rearrange if necessary. Okay? You see, at first my cos comes first, right? But I rearranged it. Okay, and sine, very simple if they don't guide you right, sine no need to change the sign. Okay, if it's cosine first sine first then no need to change the sign follow minus then minus. If it's cosine first, right, then if this minus, this will be plus. Okay, but normally it's guided, so not to worry. Now this next one I want to emphasize, because in the prelims you made this mistake. Now when you do our formula, right, you must not say must you're strongly recommended to state clearly what's the R and what's the alpha. Okay, because in the marking scheme in the O levels, right, they specifically look up for this and they give you 1 mark, specifically look up for this and give you 1 mark. If you anyhow write this don't know where they didn't see your alpha, didn't see your R, right, they don't give you marks. Okay, so it's good to do these two first. 1 mark, 1 mark. Alright. Now, the other thing I want to mention is whether minus, I say minus, right, you don't care, you just put plus, can? We are just taking the so-called A and B. It's just square root A square plus B square. Similarly for the angle, you don't care whether there's a minus here or not. You just take the second number over the first number. Some of you are still taking the first over the second. No, it's B over A, okay? B over A. In this case, it's both the same. Then, normally, right, for this kind of question, you must, okay, even if they don't say, right, or whatever, you must look at the diagram, and then most of the time is acute. Okay, but look at the diagram. Sometimes it can only be obtuse angle, it cannot be acute. So look at the diagram, read the question carefully to see what value it can take. Okay, now this is your R formula. You get another mark for this. So this is 1 mark, 1 mark, 1 mark. Then of course this will give you marks, I think. Okay, now the next part is that's all. Oh, okay. Very easy question. Mr. Tan has Mr. Teo, exactly 45 meters. That means the perimeter is 45 lah. Then you just equate and then ding ding dong dong. This part you should have no problem. Now, may I ask you, some people ask me, why not go one round? Cannot go one more round, you see. So you must understand that in this kind of questions, right, the theta cannot go one more round. Cannot. Cannot. Because this length is, you cannot go one more round. You go one more round means this will be here already. So based on the context, cannot. Okay, so that's all. Now next one. Circle. Yeah, circle. Okay, circle. It is really very helpful to draw a circle. Because it's a circle question, right? Makes sense, And don't just draw a circle just because the teacher say draw a circle, then you draw a circle, then you don't use the circle, then no point. You draw a circle, you must use it, okay? It must serve you well. You don't draw happy, then like that, then don't, okay. Okay, now this one, find the radius and the coordinates of this one. What do we do? Now, most of the time they expand everything for you, then very nice, right? But this question, they never expand. You can expand the x minus 1 square, then you will get x square minus x plus 1, and you must now rearrange it in the form this, then x, then y, then like that. Okay. This form, which is the general form, if you remember, we haven't talked about general form for a long time already. O level, right? They can ask you for general form. They can ask you for standard form. All right. But normally they ask you for general form if they want you to expand. Okay. Now, center, very easy. Divide by -2, you get the x coordinate. Divide by -2, you get the y coordinate. Okay, so that's all. How to get the radius? Where is it? Square root. This square plus this square, then change the sign of this. Okay, don't show. Not say don't need. Don't show the squaring. Don't show the squaring. That means don't write -3 square because it's not -3 square. Okay, it's actually something else. You go and look at your textbook, you will know. So I don't want you to show working here. You show working here, sure wrong one every year. Students make mistake. Okay, then you get very nice 5. Done already this part. Alright, now we go to the next part. Find the equation of the tangent to the circle. Now, at this stage, it will be good to draw that circle. Okay, so I'm going to draw that circle now. You just draw a circle first. Okay, draw a circle first. And do you know the center? Yeah, we know the center is 1 minus 3. Okay, do you know the radius? Yes, we know it's 5. But radius you hold first. Because radius, right, where you draw is very important. We must be strategic. Don't anyhow draw. So you see what they want first. Find the equation of the tangent at the point 4, 7. If this is 1, 3, 4 will be don't know where. It may be beyond. Oh, because it's the tangent to the circle. So 4 must touch. But if it's here, then it will be 4 minus 3, right? It will be the same level, right? If it's here, then it's 4 minus 3, right? So 4 minus 7 will be below, right? So maybe it's somewhere here. So you go and draw roughly. But you see, although my roughly is actually very accurate because this is P. Okay, this center is, let's say, O or whatever. We don't know. They never say also. Okay, find the equation of the tangent to the circle. So what I need to do is I find... I show you the answer already. I want to find the equation of this tangent. Can I dy dx? Dy dx here. Normally we find tangent normal kind of question with dy dx, right? But in this particular question, we cannot do that. Okay, cannot do that. Then do what? We know that this blue line that passes through the center and cutting this point P must be 90 degrees to this, because this is a tangent. Tangent is perpendicular to the radius. You see, tangent perpendicular radius okay. So once we know that, right, we can find this gradient there. Remember, that's the equation. That's the tangent. That's the gradient of the normal. Once we know this gradient, we will know this gradient. Then we know this gradient, we know this point, we are done. We can use the y equals to mx plus c. Then we ding ding dong solve. Don't leave your answer here, please. You must have this. Okay, finish already. So now we know that this is this. Update the diagram. Does it make sense? Does it make sense to have the y-intercept as -10? Yes, it does, because this is -7. Somewhere hit the this is 1, right? So 0 should be somewhere here. So -10, yeah, it makes perfect sense. So that's how you check your answer. Okay. Now next part, they say the point Q. The point Q is such that PQ is the diameter of the circle. Oh, I see. The point Q is such that PQ is the diameter of the circle. This is already the radius, right? So PQ must be a straight line, right? So that means Q is at the other end. Q is at the other end, right? Okay, so find the coordinates of Q. Very straightforward. Isn't this the center of the circle? Radius, so this must be the midpoint. So if I call this xy, you will be able to find the answer already. Just like that, okay? just like that. So you see the power of a diagram. Very powerful, you know. Okay, now next one. They ask us to, no, they told us that a new circle C2. Oh, I see. So this circle was C1. Just now, my mistake. I must label C1, you see. Okay, if I don't label right, later when another circle come out, then I'll be confused. Okay, so a new circle passes through P, Q, and R. Oh, P, just now we said is here. Q, it was here at the opposite side, right? And R. Now, where is R? So they tell you, R is a point outside C1. That means R is not inside, it is outside C1. Okay? And it's such that PRQ is 45. How does that go? We don't know. Is it going to be this side? PR can be here, right? RQ or PRQ or PRQ also can, right? Or PRQ, 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 everywhere outside also can, right? So now let's read on. Explain briefly if it's possible for the center of C2 to lie on the circumference of C1. If let's say the center lies here, we don't know where lah. They say whether it's possible for the center of C2 to lie there. So if center lies here, then if I were to use a green pen to draw the other circle, right? Then you'll be like that. This is the center, then you'll be like that. Something like that, like that, right? Okay? Yeah. So they're asking you, is it possible for this center of C2, okay, to be lying here, and then the PQR is 45. Then we see that, oh yeah, it's possible because this is the center of this circle. We look at focus on the red one now. The red one, if I were to draw a line here, isn't that right angle in semicircle? Okay, right angle in semicircle, right? That is for the red one. Okay, but now if we look at the green one, focus on the green one now. Isn't this the center? So using this arc, this is 90 angle at the center. This must be angle at circumference. Yeah. Okay, so it's angle at center equals 2 times angle at circumference. Correct? So I'm going to explain it like that. If center S lies on, I call it this S. I call this fella S. This point. Okay? If S lies on C1, this is C1, right? Then PSQ, PSQ is 90 degrees. Then you must explain why. Right angle in semicircle. Okay, this can be a E-maths question. Okay, then your PRQ would be half of the PSQ of this green of this green circle C2. Okay, maybe I should label here C2. This is C1. C1. Then they cannot minus your marks, you see. Then you find that, oh yeah, it's possible. Okay, finish already. That's all. Okay, so now we will move on to question number 8. Question number 8 is kinematics. Kinematics question. Actually, everybody, you should be getting full marks for all these questions. It's not difficult. If it's difficult, I'll tell you it's difficult. It's not difficult. Some of you may even be angry that it's so easy. Okay, a particle moves along a straight horizontal line so that it's like that. Okay, find an expression in terms of t for the velocity. You see, how can this be difficult? Then some of you may be angry, right? That I give you easy one. No, no, no. I'm trying to train you now for O levels, okay? We are no longer training for prelims. So we go for O levels, all right? So you must have the speed and the accuracy now, huh? We are going to the different stage already. Velocity, ds dt, you differentiate. 5, 2t, 3t square, finish. See, you get the marks already, huh? Now, next one, find the acceleration of p when it is instantaneously at rest. At rest, no need to think. You must know that v equals 0. Okay? So you, okay, because this question got p, later got q, right? So you must be very clear whether this is p or q. Okay, so I set this to 0. Oh, sorry, I didn't set this to 0. I find the acceleration first. Acceleration very easy lah. Just differentiate this. dvp over dt, right? Then you get 2, power bring down, power minus 1, finish. Okay? Then you set this v equals 0, and then you ding dong dong, you get this. Please remember to reject always the negative time. Don't waste the mark here. Then at t equals 1, that's your answer. Finish. Okay? Remember your unit. Okay? Now next one, use your, a second particle. Now they have a secondary particle. That's why just now you need to label P, VP and all that. Okay, you read the question. A same straight line, then initial velocity is 6 meter per second. This one is important. It's definitely some clue to you. Okay? And its acceleration is given by this. Okay, now this fella, just now they give you all the S lah. Just now they make you go this way, right? Differentiate, right? Hey, we wrote this so many times, many of you still don't know this. How can? Okay, so must know already. From now on, must know already. Okay, now they're trying to make you go the other way. Okay, so let's see. Find the value of t at the instant when p and q collide. Now, when they collide, of course, the sp and the sq are the same lah. But then you see, at first we don't know what is. We know what is sp, but we don't know what is sq, because sq they give it to us in this form. So I do by the side. Okay, I do by the side. I write this, and then I find the velocity. Velocity is integrate this, right? The power plus 1 divided by new power, power plus 1 divided by new power, then I get this, right? I must remember to plus C, very important. Very, very, very important. Now I see some classes, they see this kind of question, right? Or they see any integration question, they put plus C, then they circle. Okay? You may want to learn this method. I think they learn it from some tuition center. Not all of them do that. So I think they learn from some tuition center. You may want to learn this trick. Okay, so that you don't forget. In fact, I think my method even better. You in the formula sheet, you put there big plus C. You know the formula sheet? Yeah, you put there big plus C. I think that's even better, right? Meaning this one, you will get a booklet like that. You get a booklet like that, and then you open up, right? You put there big plus C. Then when you do right, you won't forget. Okay, so we learn from people. Don't be proud. We learn from people. Okay, we learn and then we win them. We secretly learn their tricks and then we win them. Very good. Okay, now you see. After that, what was initial, right? Initial means t equals 0. The VQ equals 0. Then you sub here. Then you get C equals 6. You see? If you didn't plus C, right, you won't be able to get this, then you are in trouble. Okay? Now, you integrate this again to find the SQ. Do you notice I label all Q, so that I don't get confused later. The subscript is very important. Power plus 1 divided by new power, power plus 1 divided by new power, plus 1 like that. Then remember plus C. Then how now? Because the question says start from 0 at the same instant, right? So when t equals 0, s equals 0, they put inside, then you get this. Okay? Your C1 equals 0, and then you can get this. So now, finally, after such a long journey, we can get the SQ, solve the equation, that's it. Okay? Now, must remember to put the unit seconds. All right. Now that's all. Is that all? Okay. No. There's one more part here. Determine whether or not P and Q are traveling in the same direction at this instant. Very simple. Okay. Very simple. You are all triple science students. Velocity is a vector. So as long as they have the same sign, VP is plus something, VQ is plus something, same direction. Okay, if VP is minus, VQ is plus, then different direction. Of this is plus, this is minus, then also different direction. Okay, so the whole idea is they just want you to find the VP for both. V for both. See, one is negative, one is positive. So you must explain, you don't anyhow just show this, right? Then okay, I think they know what I'm trying to say. No, they don't know what you're trying to say. Or rather, they know that you know, but they want you to say it very clearly. So you must say that the signs of the velocity are different. Okay, different. Then you must say that they are moving in opposite direction, and they are moving in opposite direction only at this instant. Okay, that's what they mean. Finish. That's all. Okay. Now we go to linear law. Linear law. Is that linear law? Yeah, linear law. Okay. Linear law. Long time we never do already. Yeah, I was searching for my graph paper, so painstakingly just now I couldn't find graph paper in the house. Okay, so sorry, this one. Oh, sorry, I messed up the order. Okay, they say here, okay, if they give it to you in this form, score like mad. You know why score like mad? Because they say plot this against this. So you don't even need to think. You just log here, log, put here, log, put here. Okay, I want to explain something. When they say log this against this one, right? All of you, I think, know that this is your y, this is your x. You learn from all your sciences, right? Okay, so this is like my x. This is like my x. That's why we normally put x here, you see. Then this is like my y. We normally put y here. That's why I swap the order. Alright? But if you don't want to swap the order, don't want to confuse yourself, it's fine. It's fine. But you must remember to plot correctly the log B, log R against log B, okay? And then the log B must be here, log R is here, okay? You all know what I'm trying to say, Okay, so some of you look at my working, you may be very confused. Why this one suddenly becomes this? Because I swapped the thing here, you understand? Okay, hope you're not confused. So very simple. Log, right here. Log, right here. You get marks already, you know? Okay, then you go and plot here, right? Plot. Then you get even more marks. You get even more marks. Alright? So when you plot, be very careful. You must label this. Okay? And remember, you read the question first. Okay, the question never say. You read the question first, whether or not, right, there's any erroneous or incorrect value. Then you look at the second part. Oh, there is. Okay, from the first part you may not realize. From the first part, actually the error, right, is this fella. This guy like a bit outright, but some of you may not realize, because you may think that, oh, line of best fit, then you try to fit in between, you see. So normally they will tell you first, but in this particular question, right, the later part then they tell you. So you must be very careful. Maybe you just read see Lulu whether any erroneous or wrong value. So when there are wrong values that are wrong, so-called according to a question, this value is wrong, right? When you press your calculator, in order to estimate your, my this one is I so-called cheat and get 1.92 using calculator one. Okay, so now I know, now I see, I use my ruler and match, right? Then I realize that, okay, this fella must be the wrong value, which I'm going to state later in part B. But down here, what should I do? So this is the wrong value, okay? because later I ask you what is the wrong value of R. Okay, so this R is the wrong one. This V is correct. That means later this fella is the wrong one. This is correct. You must be clear which is wrong, which is right. Okay, now that you know this fella is wrong, when you use your, okay, just to refresh your memory, some of you don't forgot already. But setup, turn on first, setup, and then you go to 3, because 3 is statistics. You see the graph bar chart like that. I go 3. Then you go to this one, okay? This one, 2. Then you key in, okay? You key in, this X, right, are all your log V, okay? So you key in 0.30, then you press equal, 0.46. This one you must practice, 0.46, then after that this one don't key in already, okay? This whole set don't key in, you don't key in the erroneous values, otherwise you will not get the correct answer. Okay, now you go to the other side, then you key in the 0.3 all that lah. Am I doing the right thing? Oh, wrong. No wonder. So sometimes you do the wrong thing, right? You suddenly you realize one, because you're that good lah. Okay, so many of you will realize but some of you do the wrong thing, then you don't know. Yeah, okay, never mind. You will know, you do more, okay? So you key in all, already, right? Except this fella, this whole chunk. No, not this fella, okay? We are keying the log one, transformed values. Then you all clear. Then you go option. Okay, option very good. You go regression, right? Immediately they give you the value already. That's number 3, right? Number 3. All out already. So you see, my A is my y-intercept. Okay, so what I do, I write in pencil. Okay, don't write in pen. You write in pencil. Okay, write in pencil. This is my y-intercept 1.92 whatever. Later I'm going to round off. I'm going to write off smartly. Okay, then my gradient I should get later minus 338 something. Okay, so now your calculator, you can don't use it already, because you already have everything here. Okay, now what? Now, like I know this, quickly label. They want to see your y-intercept being labeled, okay? Okay, so your x and your y-axis must be labeled. Your y-intercept must be labeled. Understand? Okay, after that, you plot all your thing, right? Then you make sure your line of best fit pass through this fella. Must pass through this fella, okay? Then you draw the line of best fit, this will be a very accurate drawing. Alright, now let's go to the next part. They ask us to state the incorrect reading. So be very careful here. They say incorrect reading of R. Okay, so R is the wrong one, not the V. Okay, V is correct. You're clear? Okay, so how to, that means this is wrong. So how to get the correct one? And you don't use this part here to get the answer, okay? You use this part here because this part is what you have drawn on the graph. You go and see 0.9, right? That's why I said 0.9 is correct, right? 0.9 is correct. You go and see 0.9. Then 0.9 is here, okay? 0.9 is here. You draw, then you see what is the value. 0.71. 0.71. Okay, first of all, you tell them what's the wrong, incorrect R first. Then you say, why must be this? Yeah, because they say incorrect value of R. They didn't say incorrect value of log R. So you must give them this value, and then later you find this correct value already. You must convert to this value. I hope you understand. You see what I do, you understand already. Okay, you see now I use my graph, right? I do 0.71. Then I 10 to the power of 0.71, I get this, right? So this is my correct R. You must write here correct R. Correct R. Then you get the answer. Okay, now next part. they ask you to estimate the value. Now this is the part where you need to transform the initial equation that was given to you. You see, initially I didn't do any of this, Why? Because the question is so nice to me. They asked me to plot log R against log B. So I didn't do lor. But now I have no choice. They force me. I have to do lor. Okay, be very careful here. There's one thing I want to highlight. Log both sides, right? Log both sides. This times this, you can break it up into log R plus log B to the power n. Okay? Then this n can come down using the power law. But of course, I'm going to throw it to the other side. Why? Because this is like my y m big X plus c. Okay? Hope you understand. Okay. Then now what do I do? Oh, this log k is my this fella. 1.92. So I use bowling, then I get the answer 3SF. Here, I must tell them I use these 2 points. Okay, make sure the points lie on your line of best fit. Okay, and I always recommend you use this y-intercept, okay, and you use any one convenient point. Okay, so I've used this convenient point. Find the answer. Don't you agree that this is so close to my 1.3388? You see, sure, correct one. He will surely mark you correct. But your m is minus n. That's why to find n, you must remove. Okay, that's why you see, how come this gradient there's a minus? How come my n don't have? Yeah, because my n is, it's a minus n, it's not n. Yeah, so that's why it's like that. Okay, now we go to the last part. Using, by drawing, most of you don't understand this kind of questions, right? Okay, never mind. We slowly, by drawing a suitable straight line on your graph in part 1. Here this one, you're talking about this line, okay? They're talking about this line. Find the value of v such that this over this is this. So ultimately, what they want is you find v. V equals to something. Okay? But all these are in log R, log B. So how? That means you must find log B first. Then you use bowling to get B lah. Okay? Just now I never label my graph. Okay. You go and label yourself, okay? So how do I start? In order to draw a graph here, don't you agree you must have somehow log R and log B in your equation? So there's no log R, no log B in your equation, then cannot do already, what? Correct or not? So what I do is I see that, this is R, V, N equals to this. So I go and throw this up. I want to write it in the same form as this, so that my conversion is simpler. This is what I mean. Then I log both sides, right? Then log 1 is just 0. You don't believe, press calculator. Then isn't this just now what I told you? Throw the power down, then bring over the other side. So this is your equation. This is what you need to draw. Okay? And log R equals this. It's just y equals mx plus c. The c is 0 lah. Okay, so it's just like your set 1 work like that. Drawing y equal 2x. Okay? If you don't know, then you draw this table lah. But very easy one. You big X, big Y. I cannot draw small x. Very easy one. You see, I know that it's going to pass through 0, 0, right? 0, 0. And the gradient is going to be 2. That means the rise over the run must be 2. So I anyhow choose. I choose 1. This is 1 over 0.5. You see? 1, 0.5. I mark a point there already. Then I draw a line through. That's all, no? That's all you need to do. And this particular line will pass through. Where are my table? Too many things already. Okay, so this line you need to label log r equals log v to log 2v. Okay, it passes through here, right? Passes through here. Then just now, what do they want us to do? They want us to find the value of v. So you go and find your log v, lor. You're going to find log v is here, right? You ding ding dong dong. You're going to draw down below. You will find label here. Okay, label the value. 0.58. Okay, 0.58. Then yeah, then you use bowling. Then you can get the answer already. Yeah, that's all. Okay, finish. Okay, now we go to is this the last question? No, it's not. It's not the last question. We are not there yet. Sorry, it's 1 hour already. Okay, given that this minus this is this without using a calculator. Without using a calculator means you cannot use calculator. Okay, so what can we do? You must always recognize difference of two squares. Okay? Can you see that there's a difference of two squares here? Then you say, where? Yeah, it's here. You take out the 5, right? If you take out the 5, this fella, I can write it as this minus this. So whenever I can write something square minus something square, right, it's difference of two squares already. Okay, then after that, what do I do to the inside? I copy this, copy this, copy this, copy this. Okay, one is plus, one is minus. All right, now of course this one will become 1 later, and then this one we'll see what we can do with it. This was exactly what I said just now. Okay, this is 1. This fella doesn't it look familiar? It is actually the if you see your formula sheet, this is the actual formula sheet, okay, in a booklet. You will see that, where is it? Is it? Cos square minus sine square. Yours is sine square minus cos square. So, in order to get this fella, you just have to change the sign. How to change the sign? You throw the minus out right here. Then this sign will change, this sign will change. I mean, this sign will change, this sign will change. Like that. Okay? Then isn't this cos 2 theta? Then sine over cos is tangent, and then ding ding dong dong, then get the answer already. That's all. Okay? Now we go to the next one. They ask you to find possible values. Now you see this one, yes, this one, then you use this one. The one in your prelim, many of you go and use this one. No, you don't use this one. The prelim, that one, right? You change to the basic cells. Remember the basic cells we always talk about in class? But for this particular this question, you use this, okay? Why use this? Because it's alone, and you want to find these. So you can use this. Then you cross multiply, then ding ding dong dong, then you get this. No need to solve, because they only ask you to find tangent theta. Those who solve, right, they will minus your marks. Yeah, so this is called I never read question now. Okay, now prove the identity. Okay, prove identity. You must always have the n in mind. Once you have the n in mind, everything is very simple. Okay, so you see, I want this to become tangent. Then I know that from my double angle, okay, from my double angle, my cosine 2a can be in this form or this form, right? Okay, so I want sine over cosine. That's sine square over cosine square. So of course I change this to something sine, I change this to something cosine. And then very nicely, if I do it right, this will cancel out, this will cancel out, and rightly so, I got no other number here. So this must go, this must go. Then I get the answer already, okay? So this is a very simple one. And I say hence. Hence means you must use this one. So I throw this, replace this here. Change this to tangent square plus 1, and then it's all very simple, okay? Like that. Can you must be very careful which quadrant and all that. Alright, that's all. Okay. Now, can you leave this in decimals? You can, because it's not stated here in exact form. Alright. Okay, very last question. It's on bounded, area bounded. Now, area bounded, the diagram shows this part. Find the equation of the tangent at this. Equation of the tangent to this curve at x equals 0. This question, you can use dy dx. Why? Because now everything is in terms of dy dx here. You can dy dx here, no problem. Just now that one cannot, no? Just now the circle question, if you don't know why cannot, you go back and see. There's y square, there's y there. You cannot dy dx. You have to use JC method called implicit implicit differentiation. Okay, so what you can do now this fella can you differentiate this power, throw down power minus 1, then remember many of you will forget this, differentiate the fruit. Okay, then you rewrite properly, this one cancelled off already, and this will help me to find the tangent of this curve, which is 1. Okay, now if I know the gradient of this, I need to just find the coordinates of this. I can find the equation of the tangent already. That's what I'm doing here. Sub in and then throw in, and then that's it. Okay, those who don't know this, in the prelim, you all don't know this, and you all don't know must find this, then you lose all the marks. Okay, so you must know. All right. You see, can you see that all the questions are roughly the same, except they change the actual numbers, the actual equation. Okay, so some equation looks harder than others. Okay, the tangent cuts the curve at point P. Find the coordinate. Find the coordinates. Coordinates of P. Okay, so P is here. Line, which is this. Let me just update the diagram. Line intersect curve. So you solve simultaneously. Okay, when I solve simultaneously, I cube both sides, right? Cube both sides. I am applying binomial here. They say, binomial? Yeah. I'm applying binomial here. If you don't like binomial, you can expand using x minus 1 square, then you times x minus 1. Can also. I'm using binomial here. 3 choose 1 is this, 3 choose 2 is this. Okay, then this is just cube this, cube this. Okay, then in between, remember this fella will be power 0, power 1, power 2, power 3. Then this fella is 3, 2, 1, 0. Like that. Okay, that's how I get this particular thing, and works out very nicely like that. So this is the point. Okay, now next part. They want us to find the area of the shaded part. Okay, be very careful. Always go in the direction of the arrow. Okay, so integrate from 0 to minus 2 to 0. Heaven is 0. Heaven, minus the earth. The earth is this curve here. Okay, so that's all for this particular part. This part here, right, the heaven is different. The heaven is this fella minus the earth. Yeah, so that's all. Okay, now you check whether you can get the same answer as me. If you can't, let me know. Okay, is that all? I think that's all, no? Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. See you tomorrow.